How's it going, everyone? It's Juan here from SwitchWatch, and I've got another game review for you guys today. It's a football game. It's Legendary 11, provided to us by Eclipse Games, so thank you very much. Is this one, though, worth your hard-earned cash? Let's find out in our review. Viva España! Vámonos, vamos a ganar la copa! Eclipse Games are behind Tachyon Project, which was a great little game, so I had pretty high expectations from this small studio for Legendary 11, even though it's a sports game and completely different. I'm a massive football fan, and if I didn't run a website and YouTube channel on games, it would certainly be football. Back in the day, I was addicted to the wonderful Sensible Soccer and Kickoff on the Amiga 500. When ISS came out on the SNES, I lost many hours to that game. We then had, of course, Pro Evolution Soccer versus FIFA each year, with each iteration trying to outdo each other. I was always a Pro Evo fan though. I would love to see a version of Pro Evo on the Switch, and with the World Cup around the corner, was Legendary 11 going to be the football game to satisfy my itch for virtual football? Well, let's find out. Now, the gameplay is kept simple. You can choose to either play a friendly match with a friend or against the CPU. There are a number of options to choose from, like how long a match lasts, the weather, or the referee. You can choose from a number of international teams, of which there are 36 in total, and teams range from all over the world. In Championship mode, you can choose from several cup competitions ranging from the World Cup, European Cup, America Cup, Asia Cup and Africa Cup. There are no league modes here or online modes in this game, and once you choose your team, things start off rather well. It's an arcade football game, and passing the ball feels pretty good and crisp. Putting moves together and finishing it off with a goal feels great, and like any football game should. You can take power shots by holding down the shot button, but this leads me on to the first thing I really dislike about this game. When holding the shot button, the player just stops still until you release the button. Now, this gives the opponent time to tackle you, so only do this when you have plenty of space. It just feels so unnatural. Pulling off a special bicycle kick always results in a goal, which can of course turn a game, and there's nothing you can do to stop these special moves, which is something I found rather annoying and not to my taste. Now, you can play through balls, of course, long passes, crosses, pull off bicycle kicks, headers, and all the wonderful things in the beautiful game. But unfortunately, the game is terribly glitchy. For starters, the AI at times run around like headless chickens, players will stop making runs, goalkeepers will tackle their own teammates, and tackles will go unpunished from the referee. Then inexplicably you'll get a red card. Now again, I'm always thinking about the fact that the game is cheap. You know, it's an indie game, so of course it's not always going to be perfect. But this is currently broken, and I'm not even talking about the worst bit. I started the European Cup, and in match 3 against Portugal, I was 1-0 up. At the start of the second half, I lost total control of my players, and the timer stopped. I paused the game, resumed, only for the timer to restart, but the game was stuck. I waited for the timer to reach 90 minutes, and I won the game. I thought it must have probably been a one-off crash, but no, in the semi-final against Italy, I got 3-2 down. I wanted to get back into the game, and I had lots of time to do so. I never had the chance to recover as the game's bug hit again, and that was it. I was out of the tournament because I just couldn't play anymore. Now, this happened various other times, and you're never able to complete a tournament. You just cannot do it because the game will crash every time. I've tried friendlies, and again against Argentina when I was England, the game just breaks midway through a thrilling match, and that for me was enough, folks. That was it. The game without any bugs would probably be okay to play for a few games with a friend or against a CPU, and you'd probably enjoy it even though it's not perfect. In its current state though, it's just a broken mess. Now, in terms of visuals and performance is terrible, as the game is full of bugs. The game crashes frequently. I've spoken to other reviewers, and we're not the only one. We've since received an email from the developer taking full responsibility, and they've submitted a patch for the crashing, at least to Nintendo. The problem is they don't know when this fix will be approved. In this case, games should not be released at all and should be delayed for the good of the consumer. Visually, the game has a cartoony style based on the 1980s. It's basic but pretty nice to look at, and there are differing weather conditions like snow and rain. Flags wave in the background and you can see the crowds. The animations are okay, but the ball collision detection does not always look the best. instances when the player picks up the ball for a free kick, for example, always just looks funny because the player's picking up air. There are some nice touches like the reminder of the Panini stickers that can be used to change some of the power-ups you receive in game, like bonus endurance midfielders or bonus skill attackers. Audio again is problematic in areas. There is some commentary. The comments are only said when there's something important which happens in the game, like foul, free kick, penalty, corner, so on. Now that's fine. Some countries though are not even mentioned.
First stage, Spain versus.
For example, when I played versus Poland, it was Spain versus, then silence. Very odd, and it just shows that this game required a few more months in the oven, that is for sure. It feels like it was rushed so that it could get out before the World Cup, and that's just not good enough. Things like this are a real shame. In terms of value, the game, as I said, is pretty cheap, but that doesn't really matter. You know, at $8.99, if it had been a game that didn't have a game-breaking bug, it'd still be a pretty average football game, and you know, it'll give you some hours of fun, especially with a friend. And I might have said to you that, you know, take a punt at $8.99, you might enjoy it, but in its present state I cannot recommend this game. In summary then, Legendary 11 at this moment in time is a game which is not fit for purpose. It had promise. When it works, passing is pretty crisp, goals feel good when scored, and it does quite well at recreating our beautiful game with a pretty decent aesthetic. Of course it's no Pro Evo or FIFA, but then those games are quadruple the price. And it's not aiming to be anyway. It's an arcade football game which is just nice and simple. Unfortunately, it's far from legendary right now. With the bugs fixed, you're looking at a game that would just about be worth your hard-earned cash, but I can only review what's in front of me, guys. So until the patch is released, avoid. As the bug is so game breaking, we are prepared to revisit this when it is fixed, but even then you're probably looking at 6 out of 10, something like that. As it stands, I'm only prepared to give this one a 4 out of 10. So let me know what you think, guys. Should a game be released on the Nintendo eShop when it's in this state? I mean, look, we all know about patches and stuff like that, but if a game is broken, it shouldn't be released at all, in my opinion. People are going to buy this expecting to be able to play it. They can't do that at this moment in time. If you enjoyed my review today, then please do us a favor, hit that thumbs up for me. I'd really appreciate that. If you're a new watcher here, then why not consider subscribing for future reviews like this one. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Are you disappointed? Was you going to buy this one? What's your thoughts on it? My name's Juan from SwitchWatch. I'll see you again on the next one. Take care.